always say, with me, I have much love, honor, and respect for the elders. I always got to go back to the foundation. And I want to prove them wrong because I have heard some things about, the Twin Towers, the elders. I don't like y'all people, the outsiders speaking on the elders. They were saying that you guys are, belligerent and, hostile and stubborn and this and that. Okay, yeah, we all, have our different ways and everything, but we all still come together, and respect and love one another as well. And we're, we have some people that's frustrated. We have some people that's stuck in their ways. But I want to prove them wrong because if we can't come to our elders, and stuff, and showing them, the prime example, how, and set the stage for the rest of the generation, we already lost. So I'm like, no, I don't know what elders y'all talk to, whatever, but the ones that I talked to, I said, they ready, they hungry. And I said, I hear so many great stories from you as the teachers and the molders and the builders of the community, because you guys had your stuff so intact. And I was like, wow. And I'm like, so how can we get that back? And they said, well, you won't be surprised. Many of them still reside in Twin Towers. But, it trickled on down through the years. Everybody then broke off, and how you got a lot of chiefs and not enough Indians, and everybody want to do a lot of this, but not a lot of, foot to action, so to speak. So we just basically trying to get back to those roots. And once you guys assemble yourself, because we know it's power in numbers, the hood can start recognizing that, and say officially, oh, we finally got a resident council. Because the present resident council that we have, that's speaking for all the developments, we only have a president and a vice president. Believe it or not, it's only two of them. They have, in and out volunteers from time to time, but it's only really two that's recognized per HUD. This is the information that HUD said. So I'm like, well, so they don't have the sergeant of arms, the secretary, the rest of the body? They was like, well, no, the body come and goes. Sometimes they get some volunteers at the table, sometimes they don't. And I was like, no, we gotta do better. And I said, well, we got two people representing all the developments. I said, we have more than that. We have more leaders than that, and all the developments. So I'm like, okay. They were like, well, if you could prove, us wrong or whatever, so be it. I said, oh, don't. I said, you don't have to ask or suggest that twice, because I will, because I know better. I can go out there, and I will go out there and assemble some resident councils. I said, I can show you better than I can tell you. I'm going to assemble more than one. Since y'all told me that, each development can have their own resident council. So that's for Denby, their own resident council. Parkside, their own resident council. Twin Towers, they own. I said, oh, really? So I said, right now we just got two people representing us as a whole. They was like, yeah, because nobody was interested or stepped up to the plate. I said, no. I said, during, from previous administrators, and then it went on down, people tend to lose their faith and hope, especially if somebody keeps telling you something and they, and it's just the opposite. And they don't follow up on their words and stuff. So you tend to lose, hope, and everything. And you say, well, what's the use, and then you start thinking, oh, I'm a product of my environment, I guess. What's the use? Let me just do the same as such and such doing. But no, we got to get out of that frame of mind. It's time to bring the village back. And it starts with you, elders. It starts with you to set the mold, to put us back on the map. And like I said, if we only got two now, and I said, oh, and they recognized as a resident council, I know we got two here, if not more, to start. But I also spoke with Paul, that's the president executive director. He was telling me the way that they had it set up, how it was going from other previous administrators or whatever. They always had the elections like in March or April. So I said, you mean to tell me?
This is one of the things that a lot of the residents are concerned about. They haven't had an election of office, and then they have to set up bylaws. This is something that's been going on down through the years.
So earlier we were talking about that, and it is, so there will be 2 identified, and there will be 2 resident councils. There will be one for what we in our world refer to as AMP1, so it's Denby, Lemoyne 1, and Canterbury. The second group will be Twin Towers, Southside, Lemoyne 2. So those will be the 2 resident councils.
Just have 2 resident councils?
Yes, and then you can still have an informal council here that really helps and facilitates that information to that resident council that is representative of your Parkside resident council. And that is Mr. Carter as president and Ms. Moore as vice president. But you can have all the informal councils or groups or organizations that you would like to have. And you don't need anybody's permission for that.
Any other questions? Okay.
So right now, what's going on? So right now, so right now, what is established so far?
Getting names together, how many?
What's established so far?
So we should have had 2 resident councils. So I don't know how much you talked about, so I don't know if I'm repeating something, please just say, yeah, we got that, move on.
I think we already had them.
There are,
Don't we already have them?
not formally.
Not formally.
They have to be voted in.
We have to be voted in, but we can still act right now as if we were that.
Yeah.
Until the voting comes up.
I mean, why I gotta wait till March? Why wait until April? Can I ask you a question? Why wait until March? Because it's still gonna be the same people here that's gonna vote anyway.
So the reason that you're waiting, or why are we maybe doing it this way, is so by rights, resident council has an election. We as the housing commission are responsible for making sure that election takes place, but we are not supposed to be involved in it. So what we'll do after the first of the year, we'll reach back out to League of Women Voters and ask them to be the one that facilitates the election for this year. So the terms of the current officers or the current resident council expire in April. So that's why we're saying, so as you're getting ready to go into this next election cycle, if you will, you'll be electing 2 resident councils. And that 1 resident council is going to be the residents of Denby, Lemoyne 1, and Canterbury. The other resident council will be the residents of Twin Towers, Parkside, and Lemoyne 2. And those are the 2, what will be 2 resident councils. Those 2 resident councils then get together and decide what is called the RAP board, or the Resident Advisory Board. The RAP board has one function and one function only. They meet once a year to have the annual plan presented to them to talk about what changes. We're going to talk about the ACOP, the emissions, the continuing occupancy policy. That is really the RAP board. It's presented to RAP board. They give their comments to it, and then we move back to the board. I will say from my perspective, we will continue to bring that down to each of the properties so that we can have those discussions, because we've got to build our relationship so that you guys get to the point where you trust myself and the team, and that we are giving you the information. We're giving you the information consistently and accurately, regardless who you're talking to. And that's just building that relationship. So we will, albeit technically regulatorily, we have to only present to the RAP board, but we will continue to bring that to the properties so that we can continue to talk through things and build those relationships. Look, I just got my contract and officially the executive director, so that happened November 1st. I'd like to be here for a while. Enjoy what I'm doing, so I want to continue to build those relationships. There are times where we're going to agree to disagree, and we're going to go our separate ways. But the majority of stuff we're going to agree on, and we're going to work together to get it done. So that's kind of why or how you end up with 2 councils and why we're waiting. The term is up in April, and with everything else that we have that we're trying to do and get done and get taken care of, I'll be honest with you, it's just one of those things, it's not that far away, we're gonna wait.
So, everybody want to be on the council, have that, or
No,
what position do they want?
No, it's just 31 people that were present at a meeting.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was saying.
I'll give your question a half a minute. What'll happen is there'll be nominations, so you'll be able to nominate who you want to be your officers. And again, remember, that's officers that represent Twin Towers, Parkside, Des Moines too. So it is, it's more than just who is here. But that being said, even with that, once you have 8 resident council, that doesn't stop or prevent you from meeting like this to have informal discussions and conversations about what is this, what you want, what's going on, what you like, what you don't like. Because the more you get together collectively as a group, if one of you speak, I hear you. 40 of you speak, I hear you louder. Yes.